All right, check baby, 1, 2. Ready with the 1, 2, check up. I'm gonna wear the shades today too.
I wondered why you didn't have them on.
Keep it real in here. Let's get it. It's dark.
What?
Or it's light. Get it darker in here. The lights are blinding me right here. But the excluded middle, Ryan and Ryan coming at you from the back shack.
For a couple more tries.
Man, feeling charged up tonight. Feeling charged up, baby. Woo, let's go.
You are wound up.
Hey, I'll tell you what, man. I just got lit up. Ryan got lit up too, just so you know. We went and visited a good friend moments before and in different segments. Ryan went first, and then before I come on to the show here, I stopped by and said, what's up? And then so I get over there, and the gentleman's like, here, try this. Hands me this pepper. And I know from previous experience to watch out. I was like, is this pepper hot?
Of course not.
Nah, man. It's a little hot, but not much. So a little hot means that thing's going to be hot, fire hot. So I take a little bite, and that thing was hot, man. My mouth was burning. But I got through it. I did. I ate that pepper, Ryan. I ate that pepper. And hey, I tell you what, my mouth is still hot, man. My tongue is burning. My cheeks are still a little red.
Still warm on the inside.
Yeah, like I'm like, whew. I walked into your house and it was like instant. Like I felt like I was in the Arctic zone, man.
See, I think it's hot.
Hey, he has a fan. We're sitting outside, you know, and the fan is blowing on us. I'm eating this pepper, and dude, he goes inside. I'm eating this pepper. I eat the pepper, you know, and then my mouth's on fire. So he steps inside, and I'm not trying to eat anything. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to. I'm a man. Like I can handle this heat, baby. Let's go. You know, trying to be that guy. But anyways, it was hot, but I was handling it. And he steps inside. There's some tomatoes sitting there. As soon as he walks inside, boom, boom, I'm dropping tomatoes in my mouth.
He offered me some cucumbers. I said, oh, yeah, I want to eat that right now.
Right now. So I threw a few tomatoes in, and, you know, that took care of it. And then I don't even know where I'm going with this, actually.
Your mouth's on fire.
Oh, yeah, mouth's on fire. Took a few tomatoes. And then he actually came out, and then, man, I had some dinner over there, so it was amazing. Had a little rice and something just amazing. And white rice, too. I love white rice. And then a little something on top, which was, I don't even know what it was, but it was scrumptious for sure. I mean, just brought it all about.
Yeah.
So, but that pepper charged me up, and we looked it up, and it was a Caribbean pepper, 400,000 on the Scoville chart.
Yeah.
And man, I scarfed that thing down. And Ryan, but what? Then after I ate it all because I was like, well, Ryan probably just ate this whole thing before I got here, so I can't. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have to eat this whole pepper, and I'm sitting there like eat this thing. Just sweating. And, that was what I was going to say too, is as he went inside, I threw those tomatoes in, and he had that fan rolling. Dude, I swear, that fan got cooler. And all it is sitting outside just blowing more or less hot air on you, but man, that fan felt good. It's
funny.
Sweat just beating off the brow, man.
I'm still hot from it.
Yeah, and that fan just blowing. And it was like, oh, yeah, but I was told you only ate a third of that, Ryan.
I ate probably half. I'll show you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Half.
I ate enough of it.
Man, I was sitting there eating it. I wanted to toss it after those first couple bites because it was roasting me so bad. And the only thing that kept me going, Ryan, was that Ryan just sat here and probably ate this whole dang pepper. Yeah. So I got to do it.
Peer pressure is a real problem, isn't it?
So I suffered through it. Then I eat it all. He's like, well, Ryan only got through like a third of that thing. And I was like, well, dang it, man.
Yeah. I knew. I hadn't had anything to eat today. And, so it did. It got me feeling pretty good. I like hot stuff, though. I like when I eat something hot, I want to regret eating it.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm still sensible about it. It was plenty hot.
Oh,
I can admit that. He was like, go ahead and finish it. I was like, no, I'm done.
I'm good.
Yeah, I know that it's hot, and that's all I need to know. And so
And just to put it in comparison, we looked it up on the chart, and a habanero, I think, was at 100,000.
Yeah.
100,000. So we ate 400,000.
Yeah. Well, there's some hot peppers out there for sure.
Oh, man. Yeah.
I like, and it sounds silly because it comes from a kind of slummy fast food Mexican restaurant, but they make it in house, but it's Carolina Reaper hot sauce.
Dude, those were up in the millions.
Yeah. And this hot sauce, most people can't handle it. And
Yeah.
I like it. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, those were up in the millions,
I don't
Ryan.
just drink it, but I use a lot. And Trisha always gets a bunch extra for me, but I like the hot stuff.
Yeah. Whew.
Yeah. It makes me not feel so bad about it being 105 outside.
Dude, I can feel it like right now. Like I'm telling you, my tongue's still a little hot.
Yeah.
For sure. But I can feel it like in my stomach region, man, just burning.
Yeah.
It's like, and that's what they say, watch out, on the other end, man.
So
for sure.
the
'cause I can
truth
feel
be
it
told
sitting
on
there.
that, it should only like make your mouth feel like it's on fire and your tummy a little warm. If it burns all the way through you, it ain't a good pepper.
No kidding.
Unless you eat a ton of them. I mean, if you ate 10 of them, of course it's going to hurt.
Yeah. Well, I ate
all the way
one.
through.
I ate one, man.
And that's plenty.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was
So
plenty.
that spicy stuff's good for your body.
Oh, yeah. I think I was just cured of everything that I had going through me at the moment, dude.
Yeah. I think if you rubbed it in your eye, it'd probably cure blindness or cause it.
You might have that sudden urge of blindness, and then following that, you may be cured. But I will not find that out, Ryan.
I washed my hands
I will
twice
not
when I
be
got
that
home
guy.
just so I didn't screw up and rub my eye
Oh man!
like I just did with my pinky.
Or
Just
you go
in
to the
case.
bathroom.
I don't know.
Oh my goodness,
we don't play
man!
that game.
Ooh wee!
So what else is happening in the big wide world?
Man,
That was your fourth?
man, the fourth was amazing.
I
And
haven't
like
seen you since then, have I?
no, you haven't, man. The fourth was amazing. Well, like I said that last episode, I believe, man, the 4th of July is my favorite holiday. But I did pop fireworks. That's right. The last episode, I was going out to pop fireworks. I don't even think we posted that episode yet. We're one behind because we're trying to stay one ahead, I believe.
Can't remember now.
So y'all ain't even going to see this. That's why y'all need to subscribe. We need subscribers. Yeah. So click like, comment below,
Yeah.
give us a sub because we'd like to go live. That would be amazing. I tell you what, as soon as we hit 100,
I think it's 100. You have to have 100 maybe.
well, as soon as we hit that, we're going live, man.
I mean, we should be questioning right now if it's even rolling.
Yeah.
And I'm not checking.
Get up and check, Ryan.
We're rolling on faith.
Get up and check,
Rolling
man.
on faith. Yeah. Yeah, so it went by fast for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it did. It did.
I went to bed at 9:30 on the 4th.
9:30.
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
Of course you did, Ryan.
Trisha was already asleep.
And normally you stay up all night, so
Well, I got back up about midnight, but
yeah.
I
Yeah.
was tired, man. I worked and then we went and hung out with some friends and God, really honestly, I just ate too much food is really what happened. But it's hard not to when you're good friends. Just dude, they had ribs, they had pork loin, they had hamburgers, they had brats and pasta salad, and I didn't even eat any birthday cake
Smorgasbord.
because their birthday's on the. Oh yeah.
Ah.
Then got home and got in the AC, and I was like, whoop, melted into the chair. So yeah, I had a nap until the neighborhood went crazy. When we got home, nobody was lighting nothing off.
Oh, yeah.
It was just dusk, but there wasn't a single soul out. And probably about 10:30, boy,
Just lit up.
went crazy. Yeah,
We're just
I
going
had-
nuts,
I had to
man.
give the dog a Xanax. He fell asleep in the closet. Finally, stayed there for about 30 hours. But yeah, he'd had his fill of it for sure. We didn't buy it. This is the first year. There's been years where me and Trish didn't buy a lot. This is the first year that we didn't buy any fireworks.
No kidding.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't even like make it a point to go watch them. I don't know, and I'm not. Some people might take this the wrong way, but I just wasn't feeling very Independence Day festive. I'm happy
Yeah.
it was the 4th. We got to see a lot of people, all those things that we normally do. But I just wasn't overly excited for Independence Day.
Man, dude, I always get pumped up.
Yeah,
Over
I
it-
usually do.
Hey, I think it's like the moment where you're just like, you can say, like, pop all the fireworks and basically kind of like F the system. You know what I mean?
Well, there is that, I guess.
That's
yeah,
how I feel. Like, I see the funny meme. It was like this little kid, wearing all this American flag stuff. And he was like me on 4th of July. It has all this American gear on. And then it was like July 5th. And they had another meme that said F the system.
Yeah, Absolutely. See, that's why I wasn't so hung up in it. I don't know. I just wasn't. Everybody, all the kids kind of went and did their own thing. We didn't really make a plan because Trisha had surgery.
Yeah.
We didn't know how she was going to be feeling. And so, yeah, we didn't make any kind of plans, and kind of in the middle of moving too. So,
oh yeah, you got a lot going on, Ryan. You do have.
Man, I feel
you're in
like
a transition period
I feel like I
here,
have a
man.
whole lot less going on now than I did all the month of June, and I didn't have a damn thing going on in June. I didn't have to.
Well,
I didn't have anything I had to do.
Yeah, you're just set. I think in June you were sitting more idle, so then you get to stacking that up. That's why I keep saying you're giving so much energy each day, so you have to exhaust that.
Yeah.
And at this time, you're on the move again, Ryan. You're back, man. Welcome back, Ryan.
I mean,
Glad to have you back, sir.
I didn't do a lot. I didn't do a lot physically for sure. In fact, me and the neighbor were just talking about that. But I mean, dude, the amount of information I took in from all sides, because I mean, immediately, like, I struggle with my mental health, and I have to know why, and I hate asking other people because I don't really trust their opinion.
Yeah.
I go to the doctor. The one doctor's like, "Oh, it's this," and then it's take these pills, and the next doctor says, "Take these pills." No, and I'm not. I finally went to a different doctor, and I said, "These are the meds I want. Give them to me, or else, or I just won't do it." And with a 10-minute conversation, she gave me some anxiety, really low dose of anxiety meds, and then that's enough to like be able to like settle my brain down enough to hash through some stuff.
Yeah, to be able to
because the amount of information I take in on a normal day is a lot,
right?
And it doesn't affect me in a way, but it's just like I felt like I was getting it from every side. So it's like, I was feeling spiritually attacked, not because of just because of things that were happening at church, because of things that were happening at work, and it's not that bad things were happening, it's because good things were happening, and I was unprepared.
Yeah,
I was totally unprepared for the spiritual battle, and I had a conversation with
how to stay prepared,
with
Ryan.
the pastor's wife, and she's extremely good at these kind of things.
Yeah.
She said, "Ryan, anxiety's rooted in fear. What are you scared of?" And I said, "Everything." Gosh darn, man, But the problem is, and I responded, I said, "Well, the book says pride."
Yeah.
Right. So before the fall is pride. So I have to go back. Where was I being prideful at? Well, I was kind of starting to get cocky.
Ooh,
You know what I mean?
I like that take.
Like,
yeah.
I literally did. In hindsight, it's always this benefit of this 2020, and I survived. I made it through.
Yeah,
Right, 3 years ago, I might not have. You know what I mean? I had a mental health relapse then, and I tried to commit suicide. I was in the hospital a few days, got my head on straight, and since then it has been such a good run, right?
Dude, yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it's like, man, work's going really good. I'm getting a lot of hours. I'm getting all these accolades at work. I'm getting guys to come to church. I'm like, all these things are happening, and they're bringing me joy at the same time as they're bringing me stress, right? Because now there's some responsibility involved, and then I start seeing people's lives that are changing, not because of anything I've done, but it's like this that seed planting aspect, right? And so even today, like,
but I would say it's hard not to. That is a tough balance. Like, you're doing all these things, and that's
Right.
God moving and directing you. And that's where
Yeah.
pride starts stepping in, because all of a sudden
it's
you're
something
like,
I did.
yeah, you're like, all of a sudden you're like, ooh, look what I'm doing.
and then it's like, well, I'll pat myself on the back because I showed up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
And
let's
it's
smack
so
yourself so you can knock
stupid.
your ass down again.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And so then of course the hindsight is it's like this beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, do I have some fears? Absolutely I do. But it's just like prior to June, if you asked me if I had any fear, I'd be like, nope.
Yep.
Just
I'm
the
good.
normal stuff. I'm scared of heights, and that's a common sense fear because I'm clumsy.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna fix that.
No, I already fixed it. Remember, this is my job. I should have checked it.
Yeah.
That was my downfall,
Got
Ryan.
one job.
That's my no, exactly. Got one job,
Yeah.
and I'm slipping.
One job.
I got it, man.
So, but
Don't
yeah,
you
so
worry.
here we are again, and it's like, I don't know. I'm just glad that I can look back and like heal from that, and and it did. I mean, certain aspects, like, it was great because I took in all this information, but in the same way, is like kind of useless. Didn't help me. I mean,
Yeah.
I gained some knowledge, but is it really wisdom?
I was going to say man's knowledge, maybe.
Well, I think a lot of it is because I read a lot about psychology and psychiatry, and I spent a fair amount of time reading about like how to lead groups better and stuff. You know what I mean? Because I think you can always improve.
But I think I think you still got better, man, because as you've come out of it, You know what I mean? Like, not to mention I hadn't seen you for a while there.
Yeah. For
And
a
I was
month,
like, I was feeling
basically.
deprived, man. I was, I was doing my steady checkups with you for sure.
Oh,
But
yeah.
since you've been back, it's like, I think you've leveled up, Ryan.
Well,
You've leveled
I
up,
hope
sir.
so.
I think you have, man. In fact, I know you have,
Yeah.
man. I know you have. You
see there again, I got to tread that water lightly because then I might try to, let it go to my head.
But you have to realize, like, what you have done is nothing of yourself.
Yeah.
And I think what happened is that you're moving through, right? And God's moving you, directing you. You have the Spirit protecting you, and you're moving, and you're making things happen. You ain't making shit happening, but
Yeah.
you're moving, and things are happening, and things are transforming, and the kingdom is at work. Those ripples are creating, and then you let it go to your head, and then God steps in and was like, "Oh, he's got that pride. Let me check him."
Yeah.
Hey, this is what you do, sir.
So I'm gonna put the
Yeah,
I'm gonna lighten your hedge of protection, buddy.
Yeah, this is how you operate without me. Let me go
So
ahead
then
and show you something.
I went straight from doing really good straight to Jonah and then right into a Job.
Yeah, dude, and, for real though, and I like to refer to those as timeouts. Those are timeouts. That's why I say, dude, timeouts suck, man, because you get trampled, the suffering you have to go through, and just, you know what I mean? And that's like we touched on our last episode, that joy, you know what I mean? Because you're connected. You have that gift of that joy, and it's so overwhelming, just fulfills you, you know what I mean? And the cascades around you, and just, you're feeling others up that coming around you or don't even come around you. I mean, you're just a beacon of joy. You know what I mean? You are a light.
Yeah.
And then you let that pride step in. Boom.
Oh, dude.
It
Like
knocks
fast.
your socks off, dog. Like, oh, yeah, like that, dude. You'd be like one day, you'd be like this. The next day, boom.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's so hard to get back and get connected because you have to work through that process of like what exactly happened.
And I will say, I mean, I can honestly say that I've been at battle willingly and unwillingly up until around till the end of May.
Yeah.
It has been. I mean, since last September, after the men's encounter and the prayer and the healing and it's crazy. Like my biggest fear was like, dang, I don't know how this works. You know what I mean? And there's testing, tribulation, trials, temptation, all these things that are happening. So I haven't had an autoimmune flare up since September.
Right. Oh yeah. It's
I
been
haven't
amazing.
had any back pain, and I've had body pain. Don't get me wrong, because I'm fat and I'm out of shape. I've had a little bit of shoulder pain, which I think would be expected. But for 6 months, I went from 7, maybe 5 to 7 pain scale to 0. Right?
Yeah. Oh
And-
yeah. It was miraculous, man.
It was, and to a point of like I was doing weird stuff like jogging, and
Yeah, he was. Last
Yeah.
year we was getting it,
for
Ryan.
about 5 weeks I
Oh,
did.
dude,
I have
he was
record of it.
grinding out there with me,
Yeah,
man.
and I obviously need to get back to that, but at the same time, it's like knowing, all right, I'm going to be up against it. I'm prepared for this. I got these people praying specific things for me all over the country, and even with that, like I just got blinded.
Yeah.
And so it's crazy how that works. And
I love how that works.
Yeah.
In fact,
well, when I look across the boards, it's like,
better him than you, Ryan.
phew, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Yeah. He just had to teach you a little something.
Yeah. Well, I text our friend and I said, man, in the scheme of things, I'm a nobody.
Yeah.
And
Ain't nothing, dog.
And
I ain't nothing.
but I know he's like, dude, but you're active, you're participating, you're doing this, you're doing that. And I said, in the scheme of 8 billion people, I'm a nobody. And of course, the response 10 seconds later was, well, then so was this person. They were nobody, and they were nobody, but they were like heads of the church that were persecuted or whatever,
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't even want to look.
Hey.
At that point in time, I was like, no, I don't accept that. I don't want to look at it that way.
Christ has a way of shining through the nobodies.
Well, he does. You're right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because you get to see that I don't even know how to say it, man. There's not even
Testimony.
a word to describe it.
But
Yeah.
it is. It's a testimony.
Yeah.
that's
You
behind
just
it.
get to see that dunamis power of God
Yeah.
through those nobodies, because they were nobody.
Oh yeah, and we talked.
Then all of a sudden that kratos, boom.
Oh yeah,
Using
just-
some Greek words, but that kratos comes in, bam.
Yeah.
Then you get to see that dunamis take
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Woo,
you have to be-
lights out, baby.
it talks about like so much in scripture about but this isn't a quote, believe me, but it's like keep your head on a swivel.
Yeah.
You know, and be prepared for a couple things. Like always be prepared.
Always stay prepared
for
man.
the 4 T's, and then make ready for Christ to walk on the earth again. And it's like, dang, dude, you know, when I was like just yesterday, I was like, I feel like such a stranger here, and it's way worse than it's ever been.
And now, but yeah, for real though, it is worse. I can agree to that, man. I feel the same way, Ryan. Really, just through my walks and my struggles, you know what I mean, and what I'm up against too at times. But it's like I love the fact, and that shows me, you know what I mean. And I would say just through that struggle and through that testimony right there, I mean, you would be a child of God, because as a child of God, you're going to be disciplined by Father.
Oh yeah,
And your pride starts getting in the way. I've dealt with it too. I still deal with it at times, just as you do. And then boom, steps in and get wrecked. And and that's what I love about you, man. You a true warrior, Ryan. A true warrior, dog. Nah, you not sometimes, man. You a true warrior. Like, not only, I mean, you pretty much cease to exist because you know you're out of alignment. You're out of that connection. So you go to basically, I need to realign myself. I need to figure this out. And you're not, sorting out and trying to victimize yourself, or you're not trying to push that out on other people. You're going within, you're digging that dagger inward, and you're trying to pull that out.
I'll be honest, not for the first 2 weeks.
Well, yeah, take some time to get checked, man. It sucks.
It took till about June 18th.
Yeah, that ego's a mother, man. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know.
Tough,
I mean,
dog.
Yeah. I mean, there definitely, by the time we got to referendum, that was very humbling, and there's grief involved in that, which, I mean, to me, I feel like I'm free of the grief of Travis's passing. It's like a new grief of, I don't know how the best way to explain it, but it's like, you have to be prepared for grief daily. So the Trading Pain for Peace thing, I think is 100% effective. If you're a willing participant, you've gone through it. I've gone through it.
Trading Pain for
to a
Peace,
point now where it's like I can pray those steps by myself.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And usually be free of something within a day or two.
Oh yeah.
So last October, I mean, it was the first 5 days was pretty rough, but then the day I found out, Trading Pain for Peace. The day of the funeral, Trading Pain for Peace. The next day, dude, I woke up with this whole new idea, and it's like, all right, so here's what we do. This is what's happening. I rally the troops. This is what we're going to do. So we make this plan way in the last October, about June.
Yeah.
And along the way, this person has this, and it ended up. But at the same time, it's like, well, there you go again, dummy. You set this expectation, and now you're going to get hit with this because it didn't go the way you wanted it to go, and now it's everybody else's fault.
For real though.
And even at a time, dude, like when I was leaving the lake and headed to the cemetery, I was like, I've been like, Travis, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Look what you left me with.
Yeah.
And if you were here, people would have showed up. Like, it has nothing to do with that. People showed up because there was a mission at work and we prayed about it. And so then in hindsight, it's like, man, I really, honestly, like, other than, praying for good weather or anything, I mean, I really didn't spend any specific time in prayer over a referendum. I kind of was hoping other people did, I guess, in my head. And I was just so busy. You know what I mean? To take 10 seconds to be like, God, referendum's coming. Please help me.
Yeah.
Dude,
you should get a prayer wall if you don't have one, and then write that up on your wall, man. That way you have that constant reminder in the morning. Like, if you don't have a prayer wall, I'll say that to all of these people listening.
I'm big on them, dude. I really am. Dude.
Like, you know what I mean? I got my prayer wall and I put specific things on there, and it's like, and then, I get up and I have it right there on my dresser stand. I wake up and I got little cards I pin up, and I mean, those are my, those are my main things now. And if it's on there, it's a big deal if it's on there.
I love the idea of that. I mean, I absolutely. And I am.
It helps you just to.
Well, it's right there and it's a reminder. Yeah. So, I mean, it's not for lack of writing stuff down, but I use like 5 different notebooks. I got random stuff everywhere, dude. I'm highly unorganized when it comes to that kind of stuff. And so I need a central focal point.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's even like the adoration prayer. It goes strong during Lent and then it kind of peters off, and we try to keep it going. And it's hard. It's hard to like make it. It was easy during Lent. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you have this purpose.
Because your main focus is there,
It's
man.
that wellness for 40. It's only,
Yeah.
and so it is. It's easy to lose that.
And you have that constant reminder every day. Boom, boom,
yeah.
boom. So
Yeah.
you stay on track, man.
Yeah, routine matters.
Yeah,
I
it
broke my
does.
routine and,
I mean, you're a man of tradition. You know what I mean? So you
well,
know
I am,
routine
yeah.
matters.
Yeah.
Boom, boom.
And yeah, I think too, it got to a point where I was just like going through the motions.
Yeah.
I wasn't
Oh, yeah,
as
yeah.
engaged
Yeah.
because even through May, I still, my morning routine has been the same for 6 months. And then I was just like,
So you plateaued.
well, I guess I thought I was content and I was actually complacent,
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, but here we are again, right? And it's like, all right, charge in, blah, blah, blah. and but it's, years ago, I'd say, all right, charge in and hope for the best. Right. But see, I don't have to think about it like that anymore.
Yeah, but hope, like, how do you view hope, though?
Hope is a person now.
Oh, man. Yes, indeed, man.
Pieces.
Hope is real. Hope is like to know, to expect.
Yeah.
Like, that's my idea of hope. If I'm speaking of hope, I'm knowing, man.
So, you run down the fruits of the spirit. You know what I mean? Joy's a person. You know what I mean? Peace, all those things is a person and a place. And it's all that wrapped into one. And it's hard for us to wrap our head around. I mean, just like we talked about, like we were going to talk about covenant and stuff. And the only reason I want to talk about is because it got brought up on Sunday. And we were given some homework, you know what I mean? So I'm bringing this homework to life, but I was already ahead of the game, of course. But then I get on there today and I'm like, holy smokes, didn't know that.
Yeah.
And I just dug it. And so it's like this, man, and I don't know. Is it worthwhile to study into it?
Oh, yeah, I think so,
I believe
man.
it is.
Covenants are huge, man.
Well, I mean, you get the idea, the basics of what a covenant is. You can look up the definition.
Yeah.
And so, right. So then it comes to this understanding. So we're
What's
looking
the
at
definition of covenant while we're sitting here, man?
Well,
I guess I can look it up.
This is
Are you talking?
this is the Baker's Evangelical
Yeah,
Dictionary.
Ryan's already got it.
Oh, dude, I got stacks of paper tear on it, buddy.
Of course you do, man. Ryan's ready.
The word covenant, frequently heard in conversation, is quite commonly used in legal, social, marriage, and religious and theological contexts. The term covenant is of Latin origin, not even convenere, whatever, meaning a coming together. It presupposes two or more parties who come together to make a contract, agreeing on promises, stipulation, privileges, and responsibilities. In religious and theological circles, there has not been agreement on precisely what is to be understood by the biblical term.
What? That's
right?
a definition?
In religious and no, I'm not even to the definition. This is Baker's Evangelical Dictionary of Biblical Theology, covenant.
All right,
Okay,
all right.
the biblical words most often translated covenant are berit, whatever that's in Hebrew in the Old Testament, and it appears 280 times in diakon. I don't even know, like I don't speak Greek. That's in the New Testament 33 times. The origin of the Old Testament word has been debated. Some have said it comes from a custom of eating together. Right? That word.
That's
Right.
what
So we
covenant is eating together.
The berit, right? So we translate it to covenant, but then you get in the old Hebrew language, one word might have had different meanings based on context and the words that before and after. Okay. The New Testament word for covenant has usually been translated as covenant, but testimony and testament have also been used. Okay?
Yeah.
I mean, just listen. The general accepted idea of binding or establishing a bond between two parties is supported by the use of the term berit when Abimelech and Isaac decided to settle their land dispute, blah, blah, blah. It goes on and on, dude. That's the look, dude, pages of this stuff. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was raised in a way, I was raised Reformed, and there's two sides to Reform. There's dispensationalists and there's covenant theology guys.
Yeah.
Right? So two different ways to look at what does the Old Testament covenant have to do with the New Testament
man.
covenant.
I always took covenant as like a contract.
It is, but it's more than that. So JVB's definition is way better, and he put it up on Sunday, and I've tried to find it, and I couldn't find it, so I don't know where he got it from. But it just seems legit for a biblical definition. But it basically says a covenant is a binding contract with a blood oath.
Ooh, yeah. That's how I always
Okay.
took covenant as.
And then he would give an example, like when we were kids, and you like cut your hand, and so like, all right, we're blood brothers.
Yeah.
That's where that all comes
Yeah.
from. So
That's how I look at it
so
as
you
too.
look at-
Like it's the real deal. Like
There's a
there ain't no
number of-
binding. Like we're binding.
Yeah,
There's no way
exactly.
around this.
So the covenant between God and man, there's no way that man can uphold that end,
Yeah.
right? So you think back, so there's an Adamic covenant, like there's a covenant with Adam, and then there was a covenant with Noah, right?
Yeah.
Then a covenant with Abraham, and then there's a covenant with David, and then there's a covenant with the prophets, and then there's a covenant, and then there's Jesus, right? So you have all these. So the original covenant, right? Go back all the way to the original one. That's the covenant. So then when the covenant with Noah came, did that make the original covenant obsolete? Or does the new covenant make the old, what's the change here?
I think,
right?
Well, I don't
That's a
know.
good question.
Well, I would say, like, I'm sitting here just rattling my head right now in the moment, man. I would say the covenant was fulfilled. And then the covenant is not depleted. So if you look at Old Testament and New Testament, it was just Christ fulfilled. Like you could go back to the law. It was just Christ fulfilling the law. So Christ fulfilling the old covenant, Christ fulfilling the old covenant, and then bringing in the new covenant, which is under Christ.
So that would be substitution theology, right?
I don't know what it is. I'm just
that's
shooting
just
from
what it's
the hip,
called.
dog.
Some people might call it replacement theology. The old covenant replaced the new covenant, replaced the old.
Well, no, because he didn't come to.
He didn't come to abolish the law.
Yes, he did. He come to fulfill it, so that covenant still stands.
So this is my
he just
thought.
brings in.
And I don't want to tie this
He
to
just
politics.
I don't know, enlightens the covenant maybe even more so.
But now this is the only way I could kind of wrap my head around it. And I was raised in a covenant theology way, which says the old covenant still exists with Israel, but there's a new covenant for the church. Okay, and that's covenant theology. So let's think about this in terms of like when the Constitution was written, right?
Yeah.
The Constitution was written, and then there's a number of amendments to that original piece of paper. But the old ones didn't go away.
No,
it just made
still
it
there.
better.
Yeah.
It just made that original piece
heightens
better.
it. Yeah, I like
Okay.
that take, Ryan. That's
So-
pretty good, man. That's pretty good.
So then, a lot of people would say, oh, well, we don't fall under the law because Jesus said there's a new commandment, and that's love God with all your heart, all your mind, all your strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. Okay, that's great. At the minimum level, that's great. Those are the new commandments. The new commandment I give to you. If we weren't supposed to fall into the old stuff, don't you think in there would say, all right, stop following the old stuff, all
Yeah.
of it.
It doesn't.
But it says this in this roundabout way. I didn't come to abolish the law. I came to fulfill the law.
Feel it and make it better.
That way to make it better.
To make it better.
So then
I love that,
did
Ryan.
the old covenant end, or did it keep going with a amendment
Yeah.
to make it better?
To make it better. I love that take.
Such a weird thought,
Dude,
dude.
I love that though, man. I would say that. I would say you nailed it right there,
Depends
man.
on who you ask.
No, you didn't
on
do
who you
anything,
ask.
Ryan. Just so you know. I say you didn't do anything. Just so
I
you
didn't
know.
know. This is after a lot of hefty prayer, and I love to study. I mean,
Yeah.
that helps.
I like it, though.
God
I
gave
like
me
that.
the desire to study,
Yeah.
and
Well, that's good, man. It came to make it better because that would make sense. It didn't. That he came not to abolish it, but to fulfill it. So Christ is making things better.
Yeah.
Because if you read through that Old Testament, everything's pointing to Christ, anyways.
oh yeah,
So you know what I mean as you go through it. So all that is just pointing to the one. You know what I mean. And then Christ comes, boom, doesn't abolish it, still stands, just coming to make it better,
yeah.
making things better. Yeah.
Because the promise is the same,
Yeah.
right?
Indeed.
I mean, I think it is
Indeed. Oh yeah, it's the same.
all the way back to Adam.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, salvation, dog.
I am
yeah.
your God. I want you to be my people.
Yes.
I'm your God. I love you. I want you to choose to love me back.
Yes.
How did that ever change?
Yeah.
That's the basis of it all.
And then you have. Oh man, that's huge. Man, well done. Yeah.
I don't know if it's well done. It's still a thought process.
I like it though, man. It's hitting good for me, man.
I mean, it makes sense.
Man, it does, dude. Yeah, it does for me.
So
It's hitting good for me, man. I don't
then
know.
Let's say you accept the terms of the covenant.
Yeah.
Right. Now, what's
Which I
that
would
mean?
accept the terms because I would accept the terms of Christ. Christ being my Savior, died for my sins.
So part
I
of
am
the
being
terms of the
reborn
covenant-
ready. You know what I mean? I've been reborn. I'm in new. You know,
Well, you think? I mean, we won't
that
go
would be
down.
me accepting the covenant.
We won't go down the 1,050 New Testament command road, but let's just look at the basic commands. The Great Commission.
Love your neighbor.
No, Great Commission is Matthew 28, where it says, "Go and make disciples, baptize them." in the name of the Father.
yeah,
Go
yeah.
to all nations, and make disciples. And I thought, where's love your neighbors at during the Sermon on the Mount?
Yeah. No.
I can't remember. But anyways,
Go ahead,
wherever
Ryan.
it's at. So of course we have that. And then, in James or wherever it says, your job is to take care of the widows and the orphans. So here we have, there's another command.
Yeah.
What are we supposed to do? We're supposed to take care of the widows and orphans.
Yeah.
And he's talking to the church there, not talking to us as individuals. I mean, both. It's people that are in the church.
Yeah.
So what do I accept when I accept the terms of the new covenant? I'm going to suffer. I am willingly using Christ's blood to sign the covenant because it says you're going to suffer in my name.
Yeah, but you'll suffer, and I think people mix that up. Like people, when you look suffer, but I'm suffering, but I'm suffering in a way that it brings me so much joy and so much love,
Right.
and so much peace and so much just unity and harmony that it is like
That's when you can really see someone's true fruit.
that's what I mean. But it's
In
like
the midst
that's
of that
the way I would
suffering, where
suffer.
they go with it.
That's the way that I would suffer. I would say because I'm not suffering sitting here. I mean, in the moment, sometimes, it's kind of sucks, but in the grand scheme of things, it's bringing me about to.
Well, just don't
it's
suck.
making it better. Yeah, don't suck, and it's
Don't
making
suck.
it better, like you said.
As we grow
like,
from it.
Yeah,
So then
it's making
what's
you
the-
better. Like
what's the
right
next
now,
thing I
right?
signed up
Yeah,
for?
you suffer through the month of June, and you're better for it, man.
I think I did come out unscathed and better for it for
Exactly.
sure. Pick up your cross daily.
Yeah.
That's
Follow me.
if I'm accepting the covenant, then I'm going to do that. What's that? They're like, well, what's that mean? There again, I mean, you may suffer if you put yourself out there.
I don't say it says it may. You will.
Yeah. Well, more than likely. I'm trying to be nice about it.
Well, in that sense, like I'm
I
talking
think
in
the
the
book
sense
does say you will suffer.
Yeah, it's like yeah. They came against me. They're going to come against you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. Words are tricky. That's why it matters. Words matter.
Words
We
do
talked about
matter.
that a
Yeah,
long time
dude.
ago.
Words do matter,
The
man. They're huge.
Etymology of words matter. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
like we talk about. I haven't even sent you this yet because I didn't want to blow your mind with it. But I didn't want to. It set me back for a minute, but it was talking about. Two things. One, it talked about King James Bible, and a lot of people are King James only.
Yeah.
Whatever. And they hold it in this high regard. And so this guy says, I can show you all these differences between these Bible translations that were all translated into English. And so the oldest Bible, really, it comes down to the Ethiopian Orthodox Bible, okay? Those are the oldest pieces of manuscript they have.
Right.
Now all of a sudden they come across this like Sinai Bible. Whatever that. I haven't even delved in.
Yeah.
And it's obviously just based on the limited knowledge I have I don't know. It's not a Christian Bible, but it has a lot of Christian stuff, but it doesn't acknowledge Christ.
Ooh, that's not
So
good.
you think Sinai probably tied to Judaism,
Yeah.
not Messianic Judaism. You know what I'm saying? And there's just a little gap in between the Sinai Bible, the oldest ones they have, and the Ethiopian Orthodox Bible, which includes the New Testament, right? So then all these people that are going to hear this, they're going to go back to this. They're going to be like, especially the ones that are on the outside.
Can we?
Maybe. I guess so now. What do you want me to say? Keeler needs a break. We'll be back in 5 minutes. That's a good thing. He was just checking the camera. I hate this part. One of these days I'll be good enough possibly to edit these little mishaps out. But until then, you guys just have to bear with us. Or we can just cut it short now. It's too funny. But the whole covenant thing has been drilled into my head a certain way for basically, I mean, I'm 44. For 40 years, I believed what I was taught. Even to the fact that I've said it a lot of times before, like I didn't think any really one outside of my theology or whatever Protestantism would be saved, and so now I've come to believe something different, and to get past that, it took me really just being willing to like get outside of myself, keep digging, read what the church said early on, read what the church has said over the centuries, study into Orthodox, study into Catholicism, look at all the different Protestant, whatever, Reformed or Arminian, all these different things, and then allow God to work in me to break down those walls and change where I was at with it, because I think I was dead wrong. And that's not easy for me to say, but at the same time, it's like I have to. Like, I've been proven different, and I can't do what God calls me to do without, saying that. And so it puts me in a weird spot where there's like that uncomfortability time period in between, and it's I think it's good for growth and it's good for all these things, but it has broke down a lot of my walls where I would not even engage in some discussions with people because I knew that I already didn't agree. And so now it's back to a point where I can sit down, have these conversations, and kind of come to an agreement, or debate my point and sway somebody, or debate back and it sways me. And so yeah. So I was just saying how hard it was for me to like get to a point, Keeler, where I was like willing to hit your button, buddy. Where I was willing to change like how I felt kind of towards like the idea of covenant theology versus other, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And what has helped me do is like really understand more what covenant means to me and to other people.
Yeah, like that.
Man,
I like your take,
I still
Ryan.
think there's a stretch though.
I can't say, just so we could just say here, because I had to really interrupt you, Ryan.
No, you're fine.
I mean,
I tried to keep it going. I probably sucked at it.
No.
I really, it's like, I hate this part.
Hey, all I could think is like I ate that hot ass pepper out there. So I drank like 4 of these because my mouth was so hot. So it was like, it's just running through me. And then, you know what I mean? I get out there, then I'm like, oh man, I ate a hot pepper, so it's probably on my hands. And anyways, so,
here we are now.
So I had to take precautions upon precautions on that level. But anyways.
No, that's too funny.
So then before we exited, I was like, can we edit this? And Ron's like, I don't think so. Y'all probably heard that, but here we are.
Yeah.
And I hope you don't edit it because it brings it
That's what I said too.
Brings it about, man.
Well, no, people who are watching it 28 minutes if they comment about it. Most
I
people probably won't even get to that part. So
I think they will, man. But I love you. Like I said, dude, I love that take on the covenant. And I've never really looked at it at that spin. Yeah. And I would just go to the basics there, is that you had the old covenant, the new covenant. And, I don't know if you can really call it a new covenant. I think he didn't come to abolish that old covenant.
Well, it says in Luke, and likewise the cup after they'd eaten said, this is a cup is poured out for you as the new covenant in my blood.
Ah, well, see? So then
therefore,
I don't know.
Hebrews, therefore, is the mediator of a new covenant.
Man. It's like, dude, I don't even know.
So here in Jeremiah it says,
I like your take that it just came to make it better.
This is what makes it tricky, and this is why you could take this. So Jeremiah 31 says, behold, the days are coming, declares the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and the house of Judah, not like the covenant that I made with their fathers on the day when I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, my covenant that they broke, though I was their husband, declares the Lord. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, I will put my law within them, and I will write it in their hearts. I will be their God, and they shall be my people. And no longer shall each one teach his neighbor and each his brother, saying, know the Lord, for they shall all know me, from the least of them to the greatest, declares the Lord. For I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sin no more.
Dude, that is a lot to unpack there.
I know.
That'll keep you searching.
31, 32, 33, 34, Jeremiah.
Right there, just keep you searching for a lifetime.
But up here it says, I'm going to make a new covenant with the house of Israel and the house of Judah.
Yeah.
It doesn't say with Gentiles there, does it?
And I love, true. But I love that it said it's written on the hearts.
Right.
It's in our structure of our being, our very being. It is within you. And you know what I mean? You don't need anybody else, man. You have the one. Just speaking to you.
Well, you need a lot of them. Gentiles. You need the one and all the people that are with the one.
Yeah, community.
It is. It's so important. And I mean, even in June when I was isolated, not talking to people, my family, my community of family, dude, was constantly reaching out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, I don't even know. I wouldn't even know what would happen if I didn't have that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be here.
Yeah. It'd be
I mean,
tough,
I might be alive,
Well, yeah, 'cause
but I wouldn't be here.
Yeah, we are to carry each other's burdens too. In that instance, I mean, we're going somewhere else now, but we are to carry each other's burdens, man. I'm supposed to be here for you, as you are
That's one
supposed
of
to
the
be
new-
here for me. Like I see you down, I'm supposed to lift you up.
Yeah.
And I keep going to like covenant. I keep thinking of marriage just the same. You know what I mean? Like when the wife's down, you know what I mean? I'm in the game,
to
man.
be.
Even more so, you know what I mean? My percentages go up what it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? And vice versa. I would think that would be the same. You know?
So in Romans 2, it says, for when Gentiles who do not have the law instinctively perform the requirements of the law, these, though not having the law, are a law to themselves. So it's like it's like still saying, you know, I mean, the Gentiles have this and always probably have
Yeah.
because we're created that way.
Oh yeah, it's in our very essence, our being, man. I would think.
I think there's another spot that talks about it.
And if it's not, I mean, boy, that'd be a red flag for sure, man. Like if you're not noticing that, like if you're so far out there that you're not noticing that,
Yeah. So
that conviction, that voice, you're not hearing that, man, you better, you know what I mean? You better do a 360 or not 360, you better do a 180. A 180 coming at you. Yeah. Flip the script, man.
yeah, it's wild. So yeah,
I like that. I like that, Ryan.
I think there's work to be done.
Dude, there's always work to be done, man. Like if you're alive right now, you should be in action.
Of some sort.
Yeah, you have to be, man, because if you're sitting idle, you're in trouble, man. Like, how are you loving? Like, I would look at it as love as a verb, right? As an action. If you're not in action and moving, how are you loving? How are you maintaining joy? How are you maintaining that connection?
Right.
You have to be in action. We are called to action, Ryan.
Yeah.
Called to action.
No.
I would say that's part of that. I would say that's part of the old covenant and the new covenant, man.
Well, there was some agreements made, right?
Yeah, man. We're called to move. We're called to action.
No,
I mean, you got to be, man. Your love is fulfilled through action, and I would say it's fulfilled through the action of how you're moving, how you're being directed and guided, and are you moving with such purpose?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you're just sitting there, just ignoring that, like you're just letting it drift on by, man.
Yeah. And not paying attention.
Yeah, man. Well,
I mean, I would say that
Wake up!
a lot of the old covenant had to do with obedience, right? And by obedience, by works, you showed your faith, right? The new covenant has to do with faith. You'll show your works.
yeah, you show your works.
So it's
but
like this
works are
kind of-
still involved.
Like this thing meets in the middle at the cross, and you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Well, yeah, but you know your works. Like I would say, I guess if we're going there, like the old covenant, your works brought you to.
Faith.
Yeah.
Really?
But now it is vice
Your faith
versa.
brings you to work.
Yes, your faith
Or it
brings you
should.
to work.
Should.
Yeah, well, yeah. If you're doing it accordingly, I would say, yeah, be like, like if you're sitting idle and sitting there not moving and not doing nothing, I'm gonna be like, well, what are you doing, man? Like who's guiding and directing you, man?
Yeah.
I'll start questioning that, and then you know if you're seeing those true fruits of the spirit,
Yeah.
then,
And there again, it could get to a slippery slope too, because it's like what you think other people should do.
It's
Instead
not
of
based,
just letting God
yeah.
work and let them be the hands and feet.
Well,
you can't
yeah.
go to them and be
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
it's just like this idea, and I'm not trying to knock anybody, whatever, but this does kind of bother me and rubs me the wrong way, and it's just because I've experienced it. There's a number of churches that say your evidence of being full of the Holy Spirit is that you speak in tongues.
Yeah, but
I don't speak in tongues. I don't make myself speak in tongues. I've never unnaturally done it or naturally done it.
Yeah.
And I've gone to a church where they believe that before they knew I didn't speak in tongues, the heads of the churches came and said, "Oh, we can tell you're full of the Holy Spirit." And I said, "Really? I don't speak in tongues." And they're like, "Oh," but they can't take that
take it back. Take it
They
back.
can't. They can't.
It's already been said.
It was already out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, you know, and that's whatever. But
I would say it comes down to like that's why that's why we should be so cautious in our judgment of others. Like
Yeah.
if you're going through something and you're being worked and God is working in you, well, you can go to Job for that.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean, and you know his close people
Yeah.
started speaking differently. And then God
And I'm
punished
not
him.
against-
And
I'm
then
not
God
against
punished him
speaking
for
in
so.
tongues. I'm not against
yeah,
it.
no, I'm not saying you
But I
are,
don't
but
think-
it's like just because
Yeah.
your path looks a little differently than
Exactly.
others, it doesn't necessarily mean you should jump in
Right.
and judge that and try to misdirect that because you are a child of God.
Yeah.
You're being guided and directed as such.
Well, it says
God
our
is
gifts are gonna
working
be
in you
different.
and doing something
Yeah.
in you, whether they see that or not. It's not on them. Now, if you see that and you're working it, then I would say work it accordingly, sir, because who am I to cross that boundary, man? I'm nobody. Like we just said, I'm nobody, man.
I like what John Piper says here. Every
Yeah.
human being in the world has an inborn knowledge of God and his law.
Ooh.
I believe that.
Yeah.
That's what the book says.
Yeah,
It really
I like
does.
that. Yeah, it does. I think we just talked about that.
Everybody's created to seek something outside of themselves spiritually, a spiritual higher power.
Yeah.
You look, very, very few people, even the ones that are like totally full blown agnostic, there's still something in them that's seeking something
Oh
outside
man,
of themselves.
oh yeah, they all seek, man.
You
We
know?
all seek.
Well, because
we
you're
are all
created
seeking.
that way.
Yeah, we are.
You know, and it changes. I mean, it changes
Yeah.
once you realize.
Let me find what I'm seeking.
At the end of the day, when you realize who the creator is and what
Yeah.
gifts he has to give you, in some aspects your life gets tough, but in other ways where your life gets easier is that you don't have to live in fear anymore.
That's what I'm
You
talking
don't
about.
have to
Suffering.
do this. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do
Yeah.
that.
That suffering
You know.
brings about a great joy, man.
It has to.
Dude, it does. I would say it does. Yeah, it does, man.
You know, and it's hard because like you level up stuff. So we're naturally, we level up stuff to other people, right? You hear me all the time. Be like, well, what about Hitler? What about BTK? That's the extreme on the outside. But like, if I level up my sin next to, BTK, of course I'm an angel,
Looking like a peach over there, right?
Yeah. but if I level it up to the sweet Mennonite lady around the corner, not so much, who lives a mostly blameless life her whole life.
Then what I would say is you need to level up yourself against Christ.
Well, that's the point of all this.
Yeah, that's what I
Who am
mean.
leveling up against
That should be
my
that
suffering.
that should be your target of, I would say, perfection, man.
My
Is to
suffering
line
will
yourself
never
up with
exceed
Christ.
the suffering of Christ.
Yeah, yeah.
It-
That speaks.
Honestly,
to that
it'll
First
never
John,
exceed.
doesn't it?
It'll never exceed
First
the
John?
suffering of the apostles.
That's
to be
First
quite
John.
honest,
Yeah, First John, I believe, right
they
there.
truly
man.
did give up everything. I've
Yeah.
given up very little with my walk for Christ.
Yeah. Have you died? Have you died?
To myself,
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
yeah,
over and over every day.
yeah.
Sometimes multiple times a day.
Have you been hung up on a cross and crucified?
No,
That's what Jesus did.
right?
He took it
But
to
I'm just
that
saying.
extent. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Oh, yeah, I
the
see.
extent.
Symbology wise, yeah, I've died
Yeah.
every day.
The
Have
extent
I-
of what he did,
Yeah,
man.
but have I died for someone else? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
And when I think about that, like, who am I willing to die for? Boy,
Boy.
you know what I'm saying? And it says in the book, no love is greater than a man who give his life for a friend.
So
You know.
yeah.
And so what's that mean? It's not necessarily meaning that I'm gonna jump in front of a bullet
I would
for
just
you.
say it means you got work to do, Ryan.
Well,
Oh, we got work to do, man.
everybody does.
Yeah, we got work to do, man. If you ain't there, you got work to do.
To give up
And if
your
you're
life.
there, you're probably still working.
Giving up your
Because
life.
you know you got to.
Right. It's not
Because-
talking about life and
because
death.
faith brings about that works.
Let's talk. Well, it is, but at the end of the day, I suppose it is talking about life and death. But it's talking about like, am I willing to give up my time?
Yeah, yeah.
Am
go
I
ahead.
willing? Am I willing to give up a few dollars? Am I willing to give up something
Yeah.
that I like to help somebody else? Right.
Yeah,
You
and
know
I
what
don't
I'm
think
saying?
anyone's ever really gone broke by giving.
I mean, I don't know them. You know,
Yeah.
I
I'm just thinking.
I know a lot of people that have really really irritated their kids after death when they leave all their money to the church or something, and the kids are upset because I can't believe Dad would do us like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Put in the work, son.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
I don't know. It gets so. I think that's the beauty too of Scripture, is that the depths of it
Oh,
for us as humans, and there's not a great explanation for a lot of things that happen. But it's just like, I mean, dude, I will stand on what Scripture says
I mean, it's been
step
tested
outside of faith
tested
and just
tested,
take
yeah.
it for what it's worth. And it's like 250 years before Christ, they translated the Hebrew Bible into Greek. They call it the Septuagint, and there's like 250 or 280 something prophecies. And for one man to fulfill like one of those prophecies, the numbers are astronomical.
It's crazy.
Let alone 10,
To
and
hit
then
them
20,
all, though.
and then he fulfilled all these,
All of them.
and it's documented. Did I send you the deal on China?
Yeah, you did.
31 AD.
Blows my
I
mind.
have no
man.
idea what's happened in the Middle East, and they say, "Wow, the night has
Yeah.
become day, or the day has become night, and it lasted for this amount of time. Now their recorded date would be around 31 AD, which is up for between 29 and 37 is when Jesus went blah blah blah. But here we have this clear around here,
dude,
in this dynasty, and it's saying we don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
But something is. And if you go back before that, dude, I've done studies on this, and other people showed me the way for this. Why it's important to follow someone and chase their taillights is before the flood, there was already Oriental writing.
Right. Oh yeah, okay? Dude, I love taking it back. So if you get into the actual writings of how they write it and everything and how they bring that back.
So, if you get there and it's like, okay, so you get to this original language and you break it down, then a lot of these things were attributed to things that had happened in history.
Oh yeah.
So
it's like a story. Each little letter is a story.
Right. And you can see how it changed before and after the flood.
Yeah, it's unbelievable,
so you can pinpoint a moment in time based on where they think this history says, and depending on who you ask. So we'll say basically 4,000 years ago.
Right.
That something happened that had to do with a cataclysmic flood that not only affected the Middle East area where Israel is, not the country, but that area, and then a gazillion miles away, something's happening. Now, they might have not been all the way to China yet,
and
right?
Documented in like a letter.
The Eastern Oriental starts, India and that area, and moves on out. So so it's like so unreasonable for me when someone says, "Oh, I don't believe what the Bible says." Wow.
I mean, it's documented.
There's so much
history, man.
History that's tied to the Bible. They use the Bible to find stuff.
And prophecy, not to mention, man. Just
that alone.
Yeah, dude.
That alone.
It's mind boggling. Bottling, sir.
Bottling. It is. It puts me in a. Yeah. Wrap your head around that. I'm pretty wound up now.
Yeah.
When I crash, I drink a huge amount of espresso coffee right before we go here.
Charged up, boy. Yeah. I just have to go. Yeah. Anyways, man, I had my charge up just eating that dang pepper, man.
Well, so that started it.
Dude, I still, just so you know, I don't know how long we've been rolling, but I still feel the heat on my mouth from that.
We've probably been on here at least 45 minutes to an hour.
I still feel it.
So I ate my pepper at 10 till 6, and my tongue is like sandpaper. It burned underneath my tongue. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what, though?
Dude?
I would gladly eat those peppers every day. And no.
Yeah.
That fire that I feel from that is nothing compared to like what it talks about in Luke 19.
Oh man.
When Lazarus and the rich man go and he says, "Lazarus, come over here with just dip your finger in a bucket of water so I can get a drop of water on
just
my parched tongue."
Just looking for a drop, man.
They eat one of them peppers.
Yeah, don't be
drop ain't gonna do it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? That living water.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to be searching for a parched with water, man. You should be blessed with the overflowing, cascading waterfall.
Constantly seeking
of just life, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that joy, like that's what I'm saying. Like if you're sitting there, like that, I keep going back to that. Like if you're sitting there and you're just struggling and hurting and you don't know where to go, it would be like turn to Christ.
Yeah.
He is the bread.
But some people that's what it takes to get there. So you're going to, you know what I mean?
But that's what I'm saying. So if you're sitting in that right now, like if you feel yourself sitting in that, well, let me point you to somebody.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Let me point you to Christ and then grab hold of that completely, utterly. Like that is like you are drowning. You are.
And if you don't like what I say, let me take you to a place.
Yeah. And you have death at your door and in truth, you died. Allow yourself to grab hold of Christ, be resurrected, and be reborn. That's all. That's what you got to do. I mean, I don't know however else, but you will fight that. I assure you, if you're listening to that and you're like, "Oh, that's hogwash," you will fight that, and you will continue to be in your struggle, and you will continue to suffer. You will continue to suffer without the joy that I have, that Ryan has. You will be in a pit of hell.
Well,
for real though.
So for the people,
utterly, completely.
And I love this saying, and I think it's so accurate. Is
let the fire burn you till you grab hold, I suppose.
I guess, but for the people that don't believe, this is as close to heaven as they're going to get.
Yeah.
And for the people that believe, this is as close to hell as we're going to get.
I like that.
And when you're on the flip side of that, and you see the world through worldly eyes, you're like, this is an amazing place. Look how much fun we can have, and all these things that feel so good.
Yeah. The materialistic.
And then you go through all these things that feel so good, like you go to the bar and you get drunk, and you take some chick home, and then you wake up in the morning and
you're
she
not
doesn't have any teeth, and you're upset with yourself. I mean, that's
you and your arm off.
Yeah, this is a bit extreme, but at the same time, eventually all that catches up with you, and then you have guilt and shame. And where do you get rid of that to?
Yeah,
you don't go around. You don't go around and tell your friends, be like, "Oh, dude, you wouldn't believe what happened to me last night. I drank too much." And blah blah.
Where it goes, I would say that cycle. You know what I mean? Then you continue that cycle, man.
Well, you do.
Yeah,
and it is a vicious, nasty one.
It is, man.
So, but yeah, I don't know. So yeah, at the end of the service, this is what prompted it, and I can't wait for Sunday because, so basically it's Q&A on Sunday morning for church service, and never done that before. There's going to be 80 people there, right? And so I'm excited to see how it goes.
Yeah. Now,
one thing that I thought, I don't think it was harsh because it was truthful, and it's like anything, and you could apply this principle to a lot of things. If you go home and dig and try to answer the question, even at the minimal level, that shows where you're at with your walk. If you go home and do nothing, that shows where you're at.
Well, yeah, I would say action. Yeah, you called to action, man. It goes back to being in action, Ryan.
Right. Now, there's probably a number of people who are like me that's like, oh, well, this is my theology. I've known it my whole life. This is what I believe. I'm not going to look past that. And that's what I was talking about while you're gone was I got to a point where I was willing to look past it, and what it did is it grew inside me to a point where I don't believe what I believed before.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then I got to a point to where I could understand other people's belief and say, you know what? That could be right too.
Yeah.
You know, I still think mine's all right, but you could be right also. I'm joking. You know,
it opened you up a little bit, man.
100% it did. And it allows me to sit in a space where there's a number of theological beliefs. There's a number of, I'm this close with God to I'm this close with God to I don't know God at all, and sit in this room and understanding and love my neighbor and do all these things without even realizing that I'm doing it, right? Because it's not because of doing it, it's because
doing it.
I go to a spot where I let the Holy Spirit take over, and then why can't I do that 100% of the time?
Yeah. Dude, I was thinking about that the other day too, man. Just 2 days ago.
Just like at work, I got pissed off, and it's like immediately I'm just pissed.
But I think it's a matter. It goes back to what I like to say is like I'm getting better every day in every way. I mean, we're out here doing our best, Ryan. And if you're out there doing your best, you're going to get better. Now, are you going to be perfection every time? No, but you're practicing. You're practicing that. And I think that goes a long ways. You know what I mean? Staying in work, you're staying in action, and you're being in practice, man. And you're practicing. Yeah, you're going to have your setbacks and your downfalls. But if you're giving your best, that's what you would, like you just said. Like if you didn't go home and reflect on that and do a little digging on that and take that homework seriously, well, then what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like you should be taking inventory. You should be looking at yourself. You should be in every moment that is provided for you through the life. Once you wake up in that morning, I mean, like my man says, the fish ain't just going to jump in the boat, man. The fish ain't just going to jump in the boat. So you have to move. You have to stay in action, and you have to put that into practice, and you have to give your best. Like if I'm giving my best, and I'll say that, man, like once I go and I'm died and I'm dead here and I move beyond, like I'm going to be able to just, and I don't even know, no words will need to be said, but I can honestly say, man, I gave my best.
Yeah.
I did my best out there. You know what I mean? And if my best didn't get me there, then my best ain't nothing. At least I got Christ. That's what I'm leaning on. He gave his best.
And that's true. So true. I mean,
but at the end of the day, like I'm giving my best. I don't know me just switching up, but I'm giving my best, man.
Let's just talk about everything.
Yeah, I'm giving. Yeah, for real though. Like I'm giving my best, and I'm gonna continue to give my best. And when I'm not giving my best, I notice that, and I'm all like, my Creator deserves the best that I can do, man. Because he created me in such a way to be me, to be genuine, and to work in a way to be more Christ-like.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm striving for, man.
Well,
I don't.
that's the goal.
Yeah.
Sometimes I suck at it.
Well, I suck at it too, but I still stay at work, man. I still stay in practice, and I still stay in action. I still stay in movement, and I'm doing what I'm just doing it, man.
Yeah.
I don't know,
That's
man.
what you have to do. You got to just keep doing it. So yeah,
And may we endure, Ryan, and may we endure, man.
I just ran across something, so now it's back to the drawing board.
For real though, and I think like we keep going back to that. Like I'll say something, you'll counter it with something else and something else. I'm like, man, but I think that's what keeps you seeking.
It does.
You know what I mean? It keeps you like, it just keeps that spirit alive, and that spirit within me, anyways, that just wants to to grab hold of it. And I'm like, man, I ain't quite got it right. Let me go ahead and seek some more. Let me go ahead and find. You know what I mean? And one who seeks shall find, I suppose, you know?
Oh, yeah, but you got to be careful where you look, man.
Yeah. Oh,
You do
yeah.
have to
They'll
be
grab
careful
up
where you
and
look.
get you, man, for sure.
That's
every
why
now and
community is
again.
important. You know, when we were doing the Bible study and we sat down with Matthew, we would read it and we would talk about it, and you'd have 5 different kind of little this is how it's affected me today.
Yeah.
This is what it makes me think of. And then we would dig past that and say, oh, man, well, now it makes more sense because it is talking about this in a principled way.
Yeah.
And now here we take this book that was written 2,000 years ago, and it has this growth and this evolution that comes with it that is still the same as it was then. Name another book.
I love
None.
that. Yeah, for real though. Like that, like you said, thousands of years.
Timeless.
Right? Yeah, timeless, dude. We're still talking about it. We're still seeking it. We're still trying to dive into it. We're still trying to break it
wrap your
down.
head around it.
Still trying to understand it. Yeah, name me a book, man, that is anything like that.
Even a close second. Find
Dude,
one.
close second. Yeah, let me get a close second because it's a must read. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
for us, it's a given.
Dude, it's unreal, man. Yep. Like what, you know what I mean? If that's not divine, like, you know what I mean?
I feel bad. I got a ton of water bottles over here.
Yeah, and those, you know, I'm sitting here thinking like those who speak out against it, like you're the same boat, dog. You're still sitting here speaking out against something that you're still trying to figure out yourself.
Yeah.
And still trying
What's
to
that?
dive in.
I was going to talk about this last time. There's a movie out, and I think it might be called God's Not Dead.
Ooh, I like that movie. Yeah.
So
God's
at the end of one of them, it's like this. It's a mom who has like Alzheimer's and her boy, who's not a Christian, and they're having this conversation, and he's basically like giving her the what for. He's like, "Look at you, you know, you're suffered your whole life for nothing, and you put all your faith in this one thing. And look at me, I have everything I ever wanted." And this lady who could barely put a thought together is like staring out the window, and she basically says, she said, "Sometimes God allows us to go down that road to allow Satan to provide everything that we want to keep us away from the truth." You know, and she just goes on. She's like, "I'm content. I'm
Gives
happy.
you what you want, so you don't
know
get what
where
you
I'm
need."
going."
Yeah.
And, you know, and it's like this. I mean, it's just, it struck me. And I don't know, that movie had been out a long time before I ever watched it. And that's the only thing I remember from it, to be quite honest. Yeah. I'm not much of a movie watcher. My kids and stuff, dude, they have one-liners. I mean, they watch a movie one time, can like quote the whole thing back 10 years later, like, "Hey, Dad, you remember we watched that?" And I'm like, dude, that doesn't even, you know, seen every episode of The Simpsons, don't know a single one-liner. It's just not the stuff that registers with me. 10 years ago, I probably knew it, but now it's like, razz me with a question about theology, and I probably know something, you know. Is that bad? No, it's good.
Yeah, I like it, Ryan.
I just want to grow, man, and be better. And
getting better
I want to
every
be
day
in a
in every
spot
way.
where people do, when they see me, that they do see a touch of Christ in me, you know. And it goes beyond being a nice guy and being understanding and all those things.
I'm sitting here thinking, like, I don't even know that it matters what they see. All I want to see is God sees me.
Well, yeah.
That's what I'm looking for, man. Because
I think it does matter what people see, because if you're a bad testimony, then you're not leading people.
But if you're allowing what other people see to we're going somewhere else here. Yeah. But if you're allowing other people to, if you're wanting them to see something, well, then that would mean their opinions mean something to you. So you're the only one out there. You know, that's the way I was kind of interpreting that.
I mean, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, like if you're the only one out there and everyone's all like, "You suck, man," down with what you got to say, and you're speaking of what you're being guided and directed and what God's moving you to be, well, then I would say you need to hold ground to that and stand strong on it and be like, "I don't care what people see.
If I'm standing,
my Father sees me. That's what matters."
Yeah, but if I'm standing on a corner yelling, got my Bible and my cross, and I'm saying, don't sin anymore. And then 2 days later, you see me on the jail log, kind of hypocritical. You know what I'm saying?
Depends on what you're on the jail log for.
Well, it probably ain't for selling Bibles. You know, I'm just saying. Okay, so then I'm on the jail log
I
for
see what you're saying.
caught with a prostitute. You know,
I see what you're saying, man. Well, it goes back to those big timers right now. They dropping like flies, dog.
yeah, well, that was it. It's just,
Man.
and what's funny to me is like, let's not go down that
Like,
road.
what are you
talk
doing
about
out
that.
there with P Diddy?
Five-
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Why are you guys? Why are you guys sticking up for each other so much? And now you know why. But if you'd
Nah.
asked me, I would have said, "Oh, I could have seen that coming."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I want people. I want people to see something in me that says, "Dude, I want what that guy has."
Yeah, if they see something in me, yeah, allow it to be something that brings
Yeah.
them closer to
I
Christ.
don't want them to see this podcast and be like,
Yeah.
"Cool, that dude's got a
Oh,
podcast."
yeah,
I don't want them
no.
to see.
Yeah.
I don't want them to see whatever
That's
I
what
have
you're saying,
material. I
Ryan.
don't want to see
Yeah.
my kick-ass grill and be like, "I want that."
Yeah, allow
You know what I
there's
mean?
something they see to bring them
I
closer
want
to
them.
Christ.
I want them to see that I have joy and suffering. That I
Yeah.
have peace. That I have this equal amounts of the fruits of the spirit. And I have it at a full level.
Yeah.
That, and I don't know. Ryan Ray gives this great presentation of the Holy Spirit teaching where he's got this cup and he says, you know, he dumps a little in, and you grow a little, and he dumps more, and then all of a sudden he feels he's so full, and your cup's just overflowing. And the same as JVB's law of the cups, and this one, and it filters and it filters. I don't want that ever to stop. I want this bottom of the chandeliers to be so big with Christ at the center.
Yeah.
And then June hits.
Allow me to
Right?
be. Yeah. Well.
Just saying.
Well, yeah, but then you hit. But also you hit though. You hit.
Well,
The Spirit didn't hit, man. You hit.
by the grace of God, there go I.
Yeah. So you got put out. Allow the Spirit to move.
I love you, bub.
Be guided and directed. Love you too, Ryan.
See you guys next time.
Yeah,
We
one
love you.
love. Shalom.